Good morning, boys and girls. Glad to see you here this morning. Say good morning to a few. Good morning, Kendall. Morning, Kurt. Rachel. I just started this thing up, so it might be a hair glitchy, but that's all right. We'll get started and get rolling along. So, Kendall, Kurt, Rachel, Ethan. Good to see you, Ethan. We haven't seen you in here in a while, man. I'm glad that you're hanging out. Showing up. I got my coffee this morning. You may hear something. There's some people talking in the hall out there. So, all right. Well, let's give a minute or two for people to get in, and then we will get started. We'll pull up the Bible here. So we have been reading in First Chronicles for just like 3 or 4 days now. We've been scooting along, doing pretty well. And let's see, we are in chapter, can you guys hear them talking out there? We are in chapter 25, I think. Yep, 25. We got Me Jammin'. Me Jammin', man. That's my favorite name, Me Jammin'. Let's see. Maybe we should post while we're giving a minute or two for people to jump in, and I'm waiting for them to finish up on their conversation there. Maybe we should post the link to the stream in here. Hey, can somebody copy the link from your browser bar and paste it into the chat? That way I can copy and paste it onto Facebook without having to go into my stream and everything. So just copy it from your browser, right in the top there, and then paste it into the chat, if you would be so kind. Be so kind. All right, I'm gonna wait for you to do that. As soon as that's done, I'll paste this link and then we'll get rolling. Thank you, Kendall. Oh, except for, oh, that's funny. I can't I can't copy it. Alright, anyway. Let's see. Stand by. Sorry about this. I should have did this before we started. Should have done this before we started, but I didn't. Alright, that's alright. I'm on it. I'm doing it now. Right here. We're live now. Clicking here. Got that. Copied that up. Boom. I'm going to close that down. You guys can't see what I'm doing. It probably just looks like I'm just talking and looking at my screen. All right, here we go. All right. Boom. All right, that's done. I'll put it on there. Put it on there. So. All right, we got it. We got it now. All right, sorry about that. So let's get rolling. Thanks, Kendall, for trying. I appreciate you doing that. I lost the chat bubble. Here it is. It's back. We got a few people in here coming more. So, Kendall, welcome and thank you for your help. Me Jammin'. That's my boy. My boy, Me Jammin'. All right, let's get rid of this highlighting. We're going to roll on chapter 25. We're going to try to get to chapter 30 at least. These are, that one's a little bit longer. 32 verses. What do we got here? 34 verses. We've got 21 verses. 29 verses. Oh my goodness. We're going to finish First Chronicles today. Nice. Let's do it. You guys ready? I'm going to be a little bit distracted because there's people talking out there, but I'm going to do my best to just ignore it and power on through. All right? Here we go. Here we go. All right. David and the chiefs of the service also set apart for service the sons of Asaph, of Herman, and of Juthan, who prophesied with lyres and harps and with cymbals. So again, we got the band rolling. I don't know if you guys have noticed this as a theme, but throughout kind of First Chronicles, the band has played an important part. The lyres and the harps and the cymbals. In fact, we've seen them we'll see them at the dedication of the temple with Solomon. We've seen them earlier as they've kind of been set apart, but this has been an important part of worship throughout all of Christian history, including before Jesus comes and we, changed our kind of name to Christianity, while it was still Judaism. And we see the lyres and the harps and the cymbals. So the list of those who did the work of their duties was the sons of Asaph, Zachar, Joseph, Nethanan, and Ashrelah, sons of Asaph, under the direction of Asaph, who prophesied under the direction of the king. Of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gileadiah, Giddala, Zeri, Jeshria, Shimei, Hashbah, Mathiatha. That's a tough one. 6. Under the direction of their father Jeduthun, who prophesied with the lyre and thanksgiving and praised the Lord. Of He-Man, oh yeah, we got He-Man. I don't know if you guys know who He-Man was, but He-Man was popular like when I was a kid. I don't think it's He-Man from the Bible, but he was like this. I don't know what he was. He was like some dude who never wore a shirt. He had long hair and he fought a guy named Skeletor. But He-Man made it in the Bible. So the sons of He-Man are Bukiah, Mathani, Uzziel, Shebuel, Jeremoth. Man, these names are tough. I didn't have enough coffee for these names this morning. Hanani, Ilathah, Giddaltai, and Romanezar. All right, we're going to skim through that. All these were the sons of He-Man. Yeah. The king's seer. According to the promise of God to exalt him, for God had given He-Man 14 sons and 3 daughters. They were all under the direction of their father in the music in the house of the Lord with cymbals, harps, and lyres for the service of the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and He-Man were under the order of the king. The number of them, along with their brothers, who were trained in singing to the Lord, all who were skillful, was 288. So they got like a full-on choir here. 288 people singing in the choir. That's pretty amazing. And they cast lots for their duties, small and great, teacher and pupil alike. The first lot fell for Asaph to Joseph. The second to Giddaliah, to him and his brothers and his sons, 12. The third to Zachar, his sons and brothers, 12. The fourth to Izri, his sons and his brothers, the 12. The fifth to Nethaniah, his sons, his brothers, 12. All right, so they're just going to say where all the lots were cast to. And we get down to the last one. The 23rd lot to Mahazioth, his sons and his brothers, 12. And to the 24th to Ramamiti, Ezer, his sons, his brothers, and the 12. So 288 skillful singers are in the choir singing. Welcome in, Cameron. Glad that you are here. No worries about being late. We are just finishing up First Chronicles. We're on chapter 26, and we're actually going to finish this chapter or this book today, which is pretty awesome. So now the division of the gatekeepers. And these chapters are going to go fast because it's mostly just how they broke up all of the people who are working around the kingdom. As for the division of the gatekeepers, of the Korhites, Meshelemiah, the son of Kori, or the Kor, I guess, the sons of Asaph. And Meshelemiah had sons. And so these are the sons. Sons here. Obed-Edom, more sons, more people. The fifth, the sons of Edom. All these were the sons of Obed-Edom and their sons and brothers. Able men qualified for service, 62 of Obed-Edom. And Meshelemiah had sons and brothers, able men, 18. And Hosa, the sons, so more sons, made him chief. I'm just trying to pick out if there's anything important going on besides the names. And the names are important. I just am really bad at reading them, and I don't want to make you guys sit through me trying to sound out, 500 Hebrew names. All right, these divisions of the gatekeepers, corresponding to their chief men, had duties just as their brothers did, ministering in the house of the Lord. And they cast lots by fathers' houses, small and great alike, for their gates. The lot for the east fell. All right, so now here's how the lots fell, and this is where they were. All right, these were the divisions of the gatekeepers, the Korhites and the sons of Merari. treasurers and other officials. And of the Levites, Ahijah had charge of the treasuries of the house of God and the treasuries of the dedicated gifts. The sons of Ladan, I guess. The sons of Gershonites belonging to Ladan. The heads of the fathers' houses belonging to Ladan the Gershonite. Jehieli. That was the end of the sentence. The sons of Jehieli, all right. I guess Zetham and Joel, his brother, were in charge of the treasuries of the house of the Lord. Of the Amramites, the Izharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, and Shebal, the son of Gershom, son of Moses, was chief officer in charge of the treasuries. His brothers from Eleazar were his son Rehabiah, his sons Jeshuiah, and his son Joram, and his son Zitri, and his son Shulammoth. And Shulammoth, his brothers, were in charge of all the treasuries of the dedicated gifts that David the king and the heads of his father's houses, and the officers of the thousands and the hundreds and the commanders of the armies had dedicated. From spoil won in battles, they dedicated gifts for the maintenance of the house of the Lord. Also, that Samuel the seer, and Saul the son of Kish, and Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zeruiah had dedicated. All dedicated gifts were in the care of Shulammoth and his brothers. Of Izharites, Cheriah and his sons were appointed to external duties for Israel as officers and judges. Of Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brothers, 1,700 men of ability, had oversight of Israel westward of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and for the service of the king. Of the Hebronites, Jerijah was chief of the Hebronites, of whatever genealogy of fathers' houses. In the 40th year of David's reign, search was made, and men of great ability among them were found at Jezer in Gilead. King David appointed him and his brothers, 2,700 men of ability, heads of fathers' houses, to have oversight of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites, for everything pertaining to God and for the affairs of the kings. All right, here's the military divisions. This is the number of people of Israel, the heads of the fathers' houses, the commanders of thousands and hundreds, and their officers who served the king in all matters concerning the divisions that came and went, month after month throughout the year, each division numbering 24,000. Man, that's a lot. A lot of people in those divisions. Jashobeam, the son of Zabdiel, was in charge of the first division in the first month, and his division were 24,000. He was a descendant of Perez, and was chief of all the commanders. He served for the first month. So this is important because Perez was an important character in Genesis. And so by reading these names, you can begin to connect things together and see how all this works together. But again, this isn't like a deep rabbit-chasing Bible study, although we do chase rabbits sometimes. But you can go down and chase some of these names and try to connect them together and see how all this stuff fits together. It'd be really informative. He served in the first month. Dudai, the Ahohite, was in charge of the divisions of the second month, and his division were 24,000. The third commander for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the chief priest, and his division were 24,000. All right, so then each of these guys had 24,000 in their division. There were 12 of them, one for each month. And they all had 24,000. Over the tribes of Israel, for the Reubenites, Eleazar, the son of Zichri, was chief officer. For the Simeonites, Shephatiah, the son of Maacah. For Levi, Hashabiah, the son of Kemuel. For Aaron, Zadok. For Judah, Elihu, one of David's brothers. For Issachar, Omri, the son of Michael. For Zebulun, Ishmaiah, the son of Obadiah. For Naphtali, all right, so each one of these had a thing. Okay, these were the leaders of the tribes of Israel. David did not count those below 20 years of age, for the Lord had promised to make Israel as many as the stars of heaven. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, began to count, but did not finish. Yet wrath came upon Israel for this, and the number was not entered into the Chronicles of King David. Over the king's treasury was that's a hard one. Asmaveth, the son of Adiel. Over the treasuries of the county in the cities and in the villages and in the towers was Jonathan, the son of Uzziah. And over those who did the work of the field for tilling the soil was Ezri, the son of Chulub, or Caleb, I guess it would be. And over the vineyards was this guy. And over the produce of the vineyards and the wine cellars was this guy. And over the olive and the sycamore trees in the Shephalai was Baal-Hanan, the Gerderite. And over the stores of oil was Joash. Over herds that pastured in Sharon was that's a dangerous name. I'm not going to try to pronounce that one. Over the herds of the valleys was Shaphat, the son of Adlai, and over the camels was Obil, the Ishmaelite, and over the donkeys was Jedediah, the Meronothite, and over the flocks was Jaziz, the Hagrite. All these were the stewards of the king David's property. Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, being a man of understanding and a scribe. He and Jehiel, the son of Hachamoni, attended the king's sons. And Antithophel was the king's counselor. And Hushai, the Archite, was the king's friend. Ahithophel was succeeded by Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah, and Abiathar, Joab, was commander of the king's army. Whew, man, this is tough. These are tough. I think we're done with all the names, though. Let me take a sip. Some coffee. Give myself a rest after all those difficult names. All right. I start to get like a little nervous, like a little embarrassed, or I don't know what you call it, but you start like plowing through all these names, and I'm just like, my goodness, this is terrible. Like, nobody wants to sit and listen to this. So, hopefully we're done with that. Let's plow through. David assembled at Jerusalem all the officials of Israel, the officials of the tribes, the officers of the divisions that served the king, the commanders of thousands, the commanders of hundreds, the stewards of all the property and livestock of the king and his sons, together with the palace officials, the mighty men and all seasoned warriors. Then King David rose to his feet and said, "Hear me, my brothers and my people. I had it in my heart to build a house of the rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord and for the footstool of our God, and I made preparations for building. But God said to me, 'You may not build a house for my name, for you are a man of war and have shed blood.' Yet the Lord God of Israel chose me from all my father's house to be king over Israel forever. For he chose Judah as leader, and in the house of Judah my father's house, and among my father's sons he took pleasure in me to make me king over all Israel. And of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons, he has chosen Solomon my son to sit on the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. He said to me, 'It is Solomon your son who shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. I will establish his kingdom forever, if he continues strong in keeping my commandments and my rules, as he is today. Now, therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the assembly of the Lord, and in the hearing of our God, observe and seek out all the commandments of the Lord your God, that you may possess this good land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children after you forever.'" Hey, Ben. Welcome in, Mr. Ben. David's charged to Solomon. "And you, Solomon, my son." Okay, so Solomon's going to become king now. "And you, Solomon, my son, know the God of your father and serve him with a whole heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches all hearts and understands every plan and thought. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. Be careful now, for the Lord has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it." Then David gave Solomon his son the plan for the vestibule of the temple. That's the part that's like outside the temple. "And of its houses, its treasuries, its upper rooms, and its inner chamber, and of the room for the mercy seat, and the plan of all that he had in mind for the courts of the house of the Lord, all surrounding chambers, the treasuries of the house of God, and the treasuries for dedicated gifts, for the divisions of the priests of the Levites, and all the work of the service in the house of the Lord. For all the vessels for the service in the house of the Lord, the weight of gold for all golden vessels for each service, the weight of silver vessels for each service, the weight of golden lampstands and their lamps, the weight of gold for each lampstand and its lamps, the weight of silver for a lampstand and its lamps, according to the use of each lampstand in the service, the weight of gold for each table for the showbread, the silver for the silver tables, the pure gold for the forks, the basins and the cups, for the golden bowls and the weight of each, for the silver bowls and the weight of each, for the altar of incense made of refined gold and its weight. Also his plan for the golden chariot of the cherubim that spread their wings and covered the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All this he made clear to me when writing from the hand of the Lord, and all the work to be done according to the plan. Then David said to Solomon his son, "Be strong and courageous, and do it. Do not be afraid and do not be dismayed, for the Lord God, even my God, is with you. He will not leave you or forsake you until all the work for the service of the house of the Lord is finished. And behold, the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of God, and with you and all the work will be every willing man who has skill for any kind of service. Also the officers and all the people will be holy at your command." Man, David really set Solomon up well for building the temple. He pretty much did everything for him and just said, "Hey, here's the plan. Here is the gold. Here's the silver. Like, here's everything you need, and you just put it together. It's like a kit. It's like a build your own temple kit that David got Solomon for Christmas, and he sent it to him." All right, chapter 29. "And David the king said to all the assembly, 'Solomon my son, whom alone God has chosen, is young and inexperienced. And the work is great, for the palace will not be far from man, but for the Lord God. So I have provided for the house of my God, so far as I was able, the gold for the thing of gold, the silver for the thing of silver, and the bronze for the things of bronze, the iron for the things of iron, and wood for the things of wood, besides great quantities of onyx and stones for setting, antimony, colored stones, all sorts of precious stones and marble. Moreover, in addition to all that I have provided for the holy house, I have treasure of my own gold and silver, and because of my devotion to the house of my God, I give it to the house of my God. 3,000 talents of gold of Ophir, 7,000 talents of refined silver for overlaying the walls of the house, and for the work to be done by craftsmen, gold for the things of gold, and silver for the things of silver. Who then will offer willingly, consecrating himself today to the Lord?' Then the leaders of the fathers' houses made their freewill offerings, as did the leaders of the tribes, the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and the officers over the king's work. They gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold, 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. And whoever had precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord. In the care of Jahiel, the Gershonite, then the people rejoiced because they had given willingly. For with a whole heart they had offered freely to the Lord. David the king also rejoiced greatly. Therefore David blessed the Lord in the presence of all the assembly, and David said, 'Blessed are you, O Lord, the God of Israel our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty. For all that is in the heavens and in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all. In your hand are power and might, and in your hand it is to make great and to give strength to all. And now we thank you, our God, and praise your glorious name. But who am I? And what is my people that we should be able thus to offer willingly? For all things come from you, and of your own have we given you. For we are strangers before you and sojourners, as all our fathers were. Our days on the earth are like a shadow, and there is no abiding. O Lord our God, all this abundance that we have provided for building you a house for your holy name comes from your hand and is all your own. I know, my God, that you test the heart and have pleasure in uprightness, In the uprightness of my heart I have freely offered all these things, and now I have seen your people who are present here offering freely and joyously to you. O Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our fathers, keep forever such purpose and thoughts in the hearts of your people, and direct their hearts towards you. Grant to Solomon, my son, a whole heart, that he may keep your commandments, your testimony, and your statutes, performing all, and that he may build the palace for which I have made provision. Then David said to all the assembly, Bless the Lord your God, and all the assembly bless the Lord, the God of their fathers, and bowed their heads and paid homage to the Lord, to the king, and they offered sacrifices to the Lord. And on the next day offered burnt offerings to the Lord, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings and sacrifice in abundance for all Israel. And they ate and drank before the Lord on the day with great gladness. And they made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and they anointed him as prince for the Lord, and Zadok as priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as the king in place of David his father, and he proposed, and all Israel obeyed him, and all the leaders and the mighty men, and also all the sons of the King David pledged their allegiance to King Solomon. And the Lord made Solomon very great in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed on him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Thus, David, the son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. The time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron and 33 years in Jerusalem. Then he died at a good age, full of days, riches, and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his place. Now the acts of King David from the first to the last are written in the Chronicles of Samuel the seer, and in the Chronicles of Nathan the prophet, and in the Chronicles of Gad the seer, with accounts of all his rules and his might, of the circumstances that came upon him, and upon Israel, and upon the kingdoms of their countries. All right. All right, guys. Well, that is it. We have made it through Second Chronicles. Or First Chronicles. So tomorrow we'll start in on Second Chronicles, and we'll knock that out. Let's mark this off on our sheet. Let me find our Bible reading sheet. I'm not sure where I put it. Oh, man. Yeah, those names were tough, man. Oh, here's our sheet. I found our sheet. All right. So here's our Bible reading sheet. I'm going to mark off the area that we just read. So that's all of First Chronicles is done. All right, here's where we stand right now. That's how we're looking. All right, I don't know if you guys can see that, but we just finished right there. Right there. First Chronicles. All right, next up, Second Chronicles. We'll be hitting that up. We got 36 chapters in Second Chronicles. Then we'll do Ezra and Nehemiah, and we will have read pretty much all of the history after the Pentateuch. Then we're going to jump into some New Testament stuff. Luke will spend some time with Jesus, which will be awesome. And we'll move from there. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Sorry if I was a little distracted. It's been like super conversatey outside my office this morning. I don't know, all kinds of stuff's going on out there. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace.